Mum,
Dad, sister,
brother,
grandma,
granddad,
grandpa,
friend,
son,
daughter,
granddaughter,
aunt.
nana.
Good evening, my name's Malcolm Brown and it's my pleasure to welcome you to Treetops Hospice and our annual Light of a Life ceremony. Tonight, through some stories and reflections, we join together as a community with the joint purpose of giving thanks and remembering all those family and friends who've been part of our lives but are now no longer with us. As an author called Landon Parham has put it, life isn't about darkness or light, rather it's about finding light within the darkness. Our staff and volunteers help patients, their families and friends during some very dark times in their lives, from diagnosis of a life-limiting illness to support during treatment, being there at the end of someone's life and standing with people who've been bereaved through their grief journey. Here at Treetops, we all consider it a great privilege to care for the people in our community and try and bring some light during some very dark and difficult times. Here's how our counselling services for bereaved children are helping them to find their light following the death of someone close to them.
So my name's Jules Kirk. I'm one of the therapeutic service managers and I head up the Children and Young People service at Treetops Hospice. So we have a large team of counsellors and volunteers that look after children and young people when they've had a significant bereavement. The darkest thing that can happen is to lose a significant loved one, plunges people into darkness. And I think that people can stay in that darkness. For some children it can come out in behaviours, so they might be referred to us because school have seen a change in their behaviours at home, or the family who've noticed differences in them. So coming to counselling sort of like starts opening those doors of lightness to them so they can start showing that emotion. So they need to come to us to find a place to be able to start processing that for them.
The counselling picked me up when I was in a very dark place. It really helped me when I needed it the most.
And helped me feel not so sad.
My counsellor helped me to put how I was feeling into words. Treetops helped me come out of very dark times.
It makes you feel safe to talk about things.
You never want to forget that person, and what we're trying to do is a lot of continuing bonds so they can take that person through with them as they go up as well. So we do a lot around continuing bonds, so that brings that light. So, and we try and have, we never say try and do good and bad, it's dark and light together. So how they can still recognise the sadness of losing that person, but how they can integrate the goodness that person gave them, the good memories, the good times, the good foundations that person gave them in their life, and how they can take that forward.
Thank you so much, Jules, for sharing with us. Desmond Tutu once said, "Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all the darkness." And this next story highlights the work of our hospice at home nurses. Our nurses help to care for people at the very end of life in their own homes, like Stevie and her family.
So my mum Stevie was the most amazing, vibrant, kind, helpful, wonderful, friendly woman that you would ever meet. She was a real feminist and worked in the adult education world looking after young mums with babies, getting them back into education, and wherever she went she fought for the underdog and lit everybody's lives up. She was just amazing. So Mum wanted to stay at home. As soon as we got the diagnosis of Alzheimer's, the plan for Mum was always to keep her at home, which was quite a daunting sort of thought at the beginning. And obviously when we got towards the end of Alzheimer's and it did start to take its toll, it became quite frightening for us as a family on our own, of knowing what to do and how we were supposed to look after Mum. And the Treetops guys came in and just changed everything.
My name's Lisa, I'm a registered nurse and I work for Treetops Hospice. I do a variety of night shifts and also part of the roaming team. We can help them with the smallest of things to the greatest of things, whether it be personal care, symptom management, sitting down having a chat, making a cup of tea, holding a hand. We're there for all aspects of care, and I think it really supports the family to know that they've got someone with them. It's always been a saying in nursing that the most difficult time of the day is night time. Because it is dark, most people are asleep, it can be a very lonely place.
When we first heard that they were going to come, it's very, when we've, obviously during COVID as well, we've been very protective of Mum and didn't let anybody in the house, of course, and things like that. So it was a little bit of nervousness from us to allow somebody else into the house. And also because they're with us for a few hours during the day, to let a stranger into your house under those circumstances can be quite daunting. But even though each one of them had their own personality and the way that they worked, within 5-10 minutes of them being in the house, that worry goes away, because they have this amazing, your guys have a way of scanning the family, if you like, and working out how it lies within that house. And it's an amazing skill to go into a house like that when somebody's passing and everybody's at their emotions are running extremely high, to be able to go into that environment and judge and work out the scenario and make all the worries go away is just amazing. And that was really important at that time.
It's a whole service, it's not just going in and providing medication, it's the whole service of being with that patient and looking after them. And also I think when we go in, we almost become part of that family for the night, because we get to know them, we learn about their lives, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to be able to do.
It enabled us to, I don't know whether it's light, but it enables us to have at a time when it could have been, it was extremely emotional. They enabled it sounds ridiculous, but it enabled us to have a nice time. It was a nice passing. It wasn't, whilst there was bits where they stepped in and the medical side of it kicked in, they enabled Mum's passing for us to be amazing. I know it sounds like a silly thing to say, but for it to be amazing, you know, we were there with her and they made it easy for us. And we're forever grateful for that.
What an inspiring story, and our thanks to Amy and Lisa, our nurse. The lighting of the Christmas tree is a very poignant moment each year, when hundreds of little lights shine, representing so many memories, some painful, but many remembering happy times. While the tree is still in darkness, we reflect on what the Greek philosopher Aristotle once said. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all the darkness. Doesn't the tree look wonderful? And as the lights on our tree continue to shine on into the future, we hope they bring you comfort. How can we keep the lights shining in our local communities? We're able to do it thanks to the very generous donations that we receive day by day from people just like yourselves who've made dedications. Every penny enables us to continue our care. Every gift expresses your ongoing support, and we are so grateful to you. Thank you so much. And so we move to the final part of this special event and our last story, which highlights our Tears to Laughter Bereavement Peer Support Group. Here's Ruth explaining just how much this group has helped her.
It's just a lifeline. And that was the idea of the group, that it was fine, it was okay to be upset. It was a safe place to come and be upset and show your true feelings, but hopefully by the end of it, it made you feel better. We came up with various names, and in the end, Tears to Laughter it sort of summed up what the group was about, that, you know, we came in the beginning and we were all very tearful, but by the end of the session, you know, we were laughing and sharing jokes, and it lightened the mood. And it was just like being part of another loving family who were there to help you, and people who understood how you felt, who were in the same position as you. We were together 46 years and we had two lovely children together. He was very determined, very brave and strong, very determined not to let his illness affect what he did, because he was ill for the whole time that we were together, and it did limit what he could do. And Steve died while we were still shielding, so it was very odd to go out. And then we went back into, you know, not being able to have people in the house. That was the hardest part. When I used to come, I'd sit and cry for most of it. And you find that hard to remember. And that just shows how far you've come with the support of the group. It just brings you out of yourself. It gives you a chance to be miserable, maybe, talk about how you're feeling, but by the end of the group, you go away, you know, with a smile, and you've got a loving group of people around you who are there for you. And we laugh and joke, and it's, you know, it's just a bit of light in the darkness that sometimes you feel. We pick up on if somebody's not very happy, because we seem to know each other so well, and we've made friends for life. And I think we've changed each other's lives.
Thank you, Ruth, for your honesty and all that you have shared. As we go through life, there will be times when we may be giving or receiving support. Some days you will be the light for others, and some days you will need light from them. As long as there is light, there is hope. Helpful words as we come to the end of this year's Light Up a Life, which we hope has comforted you, perhaps inspired you, and will enable you to go on, both receiving and offering support, whatever life throws at you. There is still time to make a dedication on our virtual tree, or if you'd like to know more about any of our services we've mentioned here tonight, then please go to our website. St. Francis of Assisi once said, "All the darkness in the world cannot extinguish the light of a single candle." Thank you so much for watching this evening, and all of us at Treetops, volunteers and staff, hope this time of year is the best it can be in the circumstances you find yourselves in. Thank you again, and good night.
This year, I'm dedicating a light to my husband, Steve.
This year I'll be dedicating a light to all the children and family that have been through the counselling service.
This year I'm dedicating a light to all the families and patients that we've helped with Hospice at Home.
This year, we're dedicating a light to our wonderful mum, Stevie.
I'm dedicating a light to all the people that Treetops has cared for in the past, are caring for now, and will care for in the future.